Pompeii, un nome che richiama alla mente di milioni di persone uno dei siti archeologici più celebri al mondo. Un luogo unico, dove l'eruzione del Vesuvio ha cristallizzato per sempre un frammento dell'impero romano, lasciandoci testimonianze straordinarie di come, 2000 anni fa, i nostri antenati non fossero poi così diversi da noi. Lavoro, case, divertimenti, amori, gelosie, il ritmo a volte dolce e a volte aspro della vita quotidiana. Tutto questo Pompei ce lo consegna ancora oggi intatto. Vi chiederete a questo punto cosa c'entri Pompei con noi, che registriamo dagli studi del CO.AS.IT di Melbourne. Ebbene, rimanete in ascolto e lo scoprirete.
Un saluto a tutti e benvenuti a Crossroads. Io mi chiamo Luca Esposito e questo che state ascoltando è un podcast prodotto e ideato dal CO.AS.IT di Melbourne. Un podcast che si propone di diventare uno spazio di incontro per la comunità italiana. Attraverso episodi di circa 30 minuti, disponibili su tutte le principali piattaforme per podcast, apriremo un filo diretto con voi, ascolteremo voci, esperienze e storie che parlino della nostra comunità e anche che raccontino l'impegno quotidiano della nostra organizzazione a sostegno e a supporto di essa.
Oggi Pompei e le sue storie arrivano fino a Melbourne grazie alle fotografie di Luigi Spina, che sono protagoniste di una mostra al Museo Italiano di Melbourne, su Faraday Street ovviamente, e che ci invita a scoprire una Pompei inedita. A Crossroads ascolteremo quindi le voci e le impressioni raccolte durante l'inaugurazione di Inside Pompeii e quindi tra gli interventi delle personalità diplomatiche e le opinioni dei tanti presenti che hanno potuto ammirare le straordinarie immagini di Luigi Spina vi accompagneremo dentro un racconto visivo umano che unisce passato e presente. E in collegamento con noi abbiamo Carmelina Calabrò, la Community Engagement Officer del CO.AS.IT e coordinatrice delle iniziative Next Gen, un programma che dal 2024 offre tantissime iniziative agli italiani e non residenti a Melbourne. Ciao Carmelina, come va e soprattutto di cosa si tratta questa mostra?
Ciao Stefano, io sto bene, grazie. Tu? Allora, proprio adesso nel Museo Italiano, come parte del programma culturale, abbiamo la mostra su Pompeii, che si chiama Inside Pompeii, Origins of a European Way of Life, ed è una mostra fotografica di foto fatte da Luigi Spina, un artista e un fotografo italiano che ha fatto una serie di foto bellissime nel parco archeologico di Pompei durante la chiusura del Covid. Questa mostra è stata portata in Australia dalla delegazione dell'Unione Europea in Australia. Melbourne è il terzo posto dove c'è questa mostra. Prima è andata in Tasmania, poi in Western Australia e adesso si trova a Melbourne per un periodo breve al CO.AS.IT fino al 23 di dicembre.
Insomma, un evento immancabile per chiunque si trovi a Melbourne, diciamo. E comunque sembra che il CO.AS.IT non smetta di crescere e di raccontare storie attraverso sempre nuove prospettive, no? E prima di andare ad ascoltare le voci dall'inaugurazione della mostra fotografica, hai magari anche qualche anticipazione dei futuri eventi del CO.AS.IT per la nostra comunità?
Adesso che siamo alla fine dell'anno ci sono ancora un altro paio di eventi per la comunità e io specificamente mi occupo degli eventi di Next Gen per quelli più giovani nella comunità. E in Next Gen abbiamo le nostre classi mensili di wellness il 6 di dicembre, che questo mese ci sarà yoga, mat pilates, zumba e meditazione guidata in italiano. E visto che siamo a dicembre ci sarà un po' di un tocco natalizio, allora avremo un po' di panettone, di pandoro e chiediamo a tutti quelli che vogliono di magari vestirsi un po' in stile natalizio. E poi, continuando la tematica del Natale, il 14 dicembre stiamo organizzando un meetup per la comunità a Williamstown, a Hat Reserve a Williamstown, e lo stiamo facendo in collaborazione col Williamstown Italian Club, che gentilmente hanno offerto di aprire anche il loro club per la giornata, così le persone, se vogliono, possono andare lì dentro, sedersi, magari piove perché a Melbourne non si sa mai, Però l'idea principale sarebbe quello di avere un picnic fuori là vicino alla spiaggia di Williamstown e creare un punto di incontro per la comunità prima del Natale, prima che comincia l'estate.
Grazie Carmelina della tua testimonianza, è una cosa chiara che il CO.AS.IT ha eventi per tutti i gusti, per tutte le età e Next Gen non è altro che un'espressione delle necessità delle nuove generazioni italiane e non solo residenti a Melbourne. E adesso siamo pronti ad addentrarci nell'atmosfera dell'inaugurazione della mostra fotografica Inside Pompeii. Ascolteremo quindi degli estratti audio dei vari interventi della Console Generale Chiara Mauri, dell'ambasciatore dell'Unione Europea in Australia Gabriele Visentin, del Presidente del CO.AS.IT Vincent Volpe e del manager del programma culturale del CO.AS.IT Paolo Baracchi. E buon ascolto.
Vincent Volpe, AM, the President of CO.AS.IT, to address us. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Paolo. Buonasera, Ambassador, Console Generale, distinguished guests, dear friends. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all tonight to CO.AS.IT Museo Italiano for the opening of the Inside Pompeii, Origins of a European Way of Life. An extraordinary exhibition that brings to Melbourne a remarkable selection of photographs by Luigi Spina, whose artistic vision brings the splendour and intimacy of Pompeii into dialogue with contemporary audiences. Through these large-scale images, we are invited into the daily lives, homes and artistry of one of antiquity's most influential societies, encountering Pompeii in ways that feel both distant and deeply familiar. Tonight we're very honoured by the presence of His Excellency, Ambassador Gabriele Visentin, whose leadership and vision have been central to bring this project to Australia, and of Dottoressa Chiara Mauri, Console Generale of Italy in Melbourne. Our sincerely thanks also go to the European Union delegation and GDSI, whose support and collaboration have made this exhibition possible. For CO.AS.IT, it is an honour to host this exhibition. It reflects our ongoing mission to preserve, interpret and share Italian and European culture, history and heritage in Australia, creating opportunities for learning, reflection and intergenerational exchange. It also reaffirms the importance of fostering dialogue between past and present, and between communities across continents. Inside Pompeii reveals vivid colours, intricate textures, and the enduring spirit of a city frozen in time, yet alive with stories, walls painted in deep reds and yellow that whisper the beauty and devotion, and daily ritual, courtyards that once opened into flourishing gardens, mosaics and frescoes whose artistry transcends centuries. This is more than a photographic exhibition. It is an encounter with a European legacy that continues to shape our cultural imagination and shared way of life that connects Italy, Europe and the wider world. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the CO.AS.IT Board of Directors, to our CEO Marco Ferri, who unfortunately is not here, and to the entire CO.AS.IT cultural team for their work in bringing this exhibition to life. Grazie ancora per essere qui con noi questa sera. I now warmly invite you to step inside Pompeii, to walk through its rooms and courtyards, to feel its colours and textures, and to rediscover the ancient city not as a distant ruin, but as a living chapter in Europe's shared history. I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I invite you to enjoy this extraordinary exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. It is now my pleasure to invite to the podium Ms. Chiara Mauri, the Consul General of Italy in Melbourne. Please make her welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Your Excellency, the European Union Ambassador, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me as Consul General of Italy in Melbourne to be here this evening and to bring the warm greetings of His Excellency the Ambassador of Italy in Australia on this special occasion. Let me first sincerely thank the European Union and the CO.AS.IT for their vision and their work in bringing Inside Pompeii to Melbourne. I also extend my deep gratitude to all who contributed, the photographer, the Pompeii Archaeological Park, and everyone involved behind the scenes. This exhibition is a powerful reminder of the depth, beauty, and significance of our shared cultural heritage. It also testifies to the strength of international cooperation in the field of culture and the bonds that unite two continents, Oceania and Europe, and two countries, Australia and Italy. Pompeii has been at the center of many activities recently organized in Australia. I think the exhibition supported by the Embassy of Italy in Canberra at the National Museum of Australia that ran from December 2024 to May 2025, and that was visited by more than 200,000 people. An amazing project that allowed over 90 original objects from Pompeii itself, frescoes, jewelry, sculptures, pottery, and everyday tools to travel to Australia. Thanks to the close collaboration between the National Museum of Australia and the Parco Archeologico of Pompeii in Italy. Tonight's photographic exhibition is an ideal continuation of that journey, a way to bring the spirit and memory of Pompeii here in Melbourne, and to invite all of us to reflect on the extraordinary richness of Italia's archaeological heritage. Pompeii is more than just ruins frozen in time. It is a living story. The city's tragic fate preserved remarkably a detailed snapshot of life nearly 2 millennia ago. Its houses, its streets, its people, their joys and their tragedies. Through its artifacts, we see not only grand frescoes and sculptures, but the everyday objects of ordinary people, jewelry, cooking pots, tools, which speak so powerfully of human stories. And this is what makes Pompeii truly extraordinary, its capacity to connect us across the centuries, to walk the streets of Pompeii in our imagination, to feel the weight of history, to understand in a visual way how life continued up until that fateful moment. It shapes our sense of identity, our continuity, and our shaped humanity. I hope you will enjoy the images of this beautiful archaeological site and that this exhibition may trigger even more interest in visiting Italy and its extraordinary cultural and heritage places. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoy the evening and the exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul General. It is now my pleasure to invite His Excellency Gabriele Visentin, European Union Ambassador to Australia, to address us. Please make him welcome.
Thank you very much. Grazie a tutti. Dear friends, dear member of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, dear friends who traveled all the way from Europe who are here for professional reasons, thanks a lot for coming here. Thanks to also our Australian friends who joined from Canberra. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us tonight. It's a great pleasure, as always, to be in Melbourne, but to be here in Carlton, the heart of the Melbourne's Italian community, and to open this very special exhibition. It is an exhibition that is part of our cultural diplomacy activity. It's, as you kindly acknowledged, is an initiative of the European Union and European Union delegation to Australia. We want to bring not just culture or beauty. We want to bring, well, as you said, Consul, humanity. We want to express a shared, timeless, borderless humanity which connects us. So tonight is not simply an opening, it is a homecoming of sorts. We, all, our history and roots, and Pompeii is part of the cultural DNA of Europe. And just to tell you, one of the reasons why we wanted to bring Pompeii to Australia with the EU logo is that the EU has invested more than 100 million euros in the restoration, preservation, and enhancement of the archaeological site of Pompeii. So Pompeii is acknowledged for its historical, cultural value for the whole of Europe, not just for Italy. And of course, we can say that the good part of Europe comes from Italy, but that is an unofficial remark. So let's put it from the country I know the best. Yes, let's put it this way. So this exhibition is about the story of lives which were lived thousands of years ago, yet eerily similar to those we have today. And it's a true celebration of humanity. So these are not just beautiful photos of walls and frescoes. These are invitations into the private lives of people who lived, loved, worked, quarreled, celebrated, hoped, and dreamed, just as we do. So Luigi Spina is a very renowned and famous artist photographer. Went to Pompeii during COVID-19 lockdown, so when the site was closed. He asked Hasselblad to make a bespoke camera with special lenses, which would allow him to take pictures of Pompeii as they were never taken before. So this special, by the way, it's a 200,000 euros camera. It has a special lenses which allowed the photographer to take pics with natural light only. So if you take the time to look at the image also with a sort of a technical eye, you will see that the photographs are incredibly bright and incredibly deep. And this is due to the fact that they could be overexposed and only with natural light. And this is thanks to this very special camera. So tonight here we see the past brought to life thanks to the modern technology. So please appreciate this as well. And I would like maybe to mention two photographs which are just out there. We embody a little bit the spirit of humanity, and I would like you to reflect a little bit on those. There is one is the home of Giulia Pradea, so it's hanging just after that door. It is the image of it's the vision from the garden of this home. Giulia Pradea was a businesswoman. She was renting out parts of her house. She was renting out the rooms or the shops. You could rent it either by the month or by the years. It's interesting because there is a plate which explains even how much money she was asking. And actually we know that she was a widow, so she started a business, so really an incredible businesswoman of the time. But what I would like to put your attention to is that from her garden, you see in the back, you see the profile of the Vesuvius with its broken top because of the explosion of the eruption. So one could imagine that Giulia, in that very morning when the eruption came, with a big noise, she probably has gone in her garden and say, what's happening? And this is probably what you're seeing now is the last sight that she gave, because when she went to the garden, probably she was brought into the house. So have a look at that and have the sense of humanity and fragility of our lives. So we celebrate life, we celebrate our shared humanity, and we stand together, Europe and Australia. My colleagues were here to negotiate with Australia the deepening of our economic ties, because we have enormous interest. But we share also enormous values and enormous cultural identity, which makes us close and which make our interest even stronger. Because values go together with interest, and the interests are strengthened by the values and vice versa. So the European Union is not just the biggest world's trading and economic bloc, it's also the biggest and most powerful defender and promoter of human rights, democracies, and it's probably the biggest cultural powerhouse in the world. So tonight I would like to underline that all of these aspects are together, and you, as part of the European diaspora, you should feel proud of this. So when we say we defend our interests, our rules and our values, allow me just to mention that we have to defend democracy and the democratic institutions, because democracy is our shared treasure, and this is why we must defend it together. So the EU and Australia stand together because we believe in the same things, which are dignity, which are community, fairness, cultural diversity, democracy, rule of law, and respect for the citizens. And don't think that looking at Pompeii is so distant from maintaining and giving value to these concepts. So this exhibition, therefore, is not just cultural diplomacy. It is a tribute to the deep bonds between Europe and Australia, and, of course, our shared, timeless humanity. Thank you very much, grazie mille, and enjoy the exhibition.
E dopo la carrellata di interventi dell'inaugurazione della mostra, abbiamo anche registrato per voi alcune opinioni delle persone che sono venute ad ammirare queste foto di Luigi Spina. Eccone alcuni estratti per voi, buon ascolto.
Dobbiamo veramente essere grati alle persone che hanno voluto realizzare questa, la mostra prima di tutto, ma anche tutti i lavori, tutto questo importante recupero della nostra storia. Bellissimo, veramente.
For me, I think it's the light, just the way the light touches the surface and how it brings out what's hidden. I think there's a real beauty to that, because having been here in person, you don't see it the same way. It looks like you can step into the picture, you know. So it's got that almost like a neorealism that I like, and it's just very impressionable. Even the deep colors like this, the red over here, it's not something that you see that's artificial. It's something natural, something from the earth almost. And in person, you don't get the same impression. It looks very, very different. So this is very fascinating. I love it. It gives you an idea of what the homes were like, the wealth. Not to mention, Roman life. And you hear so many students say, oh, but everything's the same, it's marble, it's white, it's all. So no, Rome was very colorful. So it's amazing how much we discover more and more.
Certo che la bellezza di guardare queste fotografie e di pensare come si viveva 2000 anni fa lascia a bocca aperta, colori vividissimi, cosa a cui non siamo abituati se pensiamo all'arte del Canova e le statue bianche che ci sono state riportate all'antichità, è meraviglioso da vedere. Questo è l'aspetto tecnico che forse è il più interessante di tutti, cioè questa proiezione all'interno che forse è anche una proiezione all'esterno delle case verso quello che lo guarda. Sì. L'ho visitata da quando ero piccolo ed era completamente, nella mia memoria, il mio gasofiloccio me lo ricordo come un posto, come una rovina, non me lo ricordo come un colore come adesso.
It's the colours that really excited me, being able to see such a depth of colour that you don't expect from something that's such a long time ago. It's a real window into the life of how people lived, and that's a very special experience for someone looking at it from today's world. And there's a real depth to the pictures that makes you feel like you're actually there, that you're actually in the room and experiencing it for yourself firsthand. I've always wanted to go, and this makes me want to go even more.
Innanzitutto ho notato subito che le fotografie sono state fatte con una certa maestria, quindi da una mano esperta. Comunque mi piace perché mi collega anche al fattore culturale. Ecco, il fattore culturale è molto importante perché sai com'è, le ceneri del Vesuvio hanno sepolto una grandissima cultura e questa cultura un po' alla volta viene fuori e ci svela i suoi segreti. È una mostra bellissima, straordinariamente bella, ben fatta, ben curata, che io consiglierei a tutti di venire a vedere. Quindi noi invitiamo la gente veramente a venire a visitare la mostra e poi a fare un biglietto diretto per Pompeii ed Ercolanium e andarla a visitare.
Anche il tuo?
Anche il mio, mi dovete mandare la cartolina, mi raccomando, mandatemi una cartolina.
I think the lighting on the pictures is really very special. It's very it's very bright, and at the same time, what is very interesting is that you really see something from how people lived at that time, and something you can relate to, which is of course very similar to the way we live in a certain sense.
Mi piace molto questa fotografia perché il pavimento, i colori, ti senti proprio come puoi entrare nella stanza.
For me, it was reliving. I've visited Pompeii a couple of times, and for me, it's sort of revisiting the site. I mean, the quality of the photos, it's almost granular. It's almost as if you're looking in, like through a window into the rooms. So it was a superb photo exposition that comes as close to the real thing as you can. It's almost like an immersive experience. I mean, the next stage would be like wearing like 3D glasses and having a 3D view, but it comes very close to that experience. So I think the exhibition really pushed the limits of what is possible in terms of a photographic display of artifacts.
Quello che mi ha colpito di più della mostra di Pompei è come sono state fatte le fotografie e la definizione in cui la fotografia è mostrata e l'occhio dell'artista nel catturare la luce in stanze che sono ovviamente molto buie e in cui bisogna utilizzare una tecnologia particolare per catturare appunto la luce e la fotografia creando l'immagine perfetta.
Tutti vogliono andare a Pompei, sì, tutti.
Ecco, quindi insomma, ritorniamo negli studi di Crossroads dopo una carrellata tra interventi ed interviste. Questa era l'atmosfera che si respirava al Museo Italiano di Carlton su Faraday Street durante l'inaugurazione di Inside Pompeii, una mostra fotografica di Luigi Spina, e vi invitiamo nuovamente ad accorrere in molti in questa esperienza totalizzante. Fino al 23 dicembre al Museo Italiano questa mostra sarà disponibile, mi raccomando, non perdetevela. E quindi, cari amici ascoltatori, da Stefano Ioel, dagli studi di Crossroads, un caloroso saluto e un arrivederci alla settimana prossima per una nuova puntata di Crossroads, crocevia degli italiani, il podcast ufficiale del CO.AS.IT. Ciao a tutti e alla prossima!